Concept of chi-square test is pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple, but often we tend to miss it. It is simple if you look at the formula. It's like observed. These are the observed values. These are the observed values minus the expected square divided by the expected, right? And how we will be calculating the expected? This is the thing. Often we tend to forget it. For example, this is the total of this part, row total. Sorry, this is multiply with the column total, again row total, column total, row total, and divide by the total value. So how we will be calculating it? Let's have a look at the expected value. First expected value is, this is 75, multiply by 53, divide by 120, that is the total. This is the total that we are dividing it by, and we are getting a value like 50. We are getting a value that is 33.13. Similarly for the other one, 45 into 53, this into this, and they divide by 120, and we are getting an equivalent value of 19.88. Then we have 75 into 51. 75 into 51 divided by 120, and we are getting a value of 31.88. Then we have 45 into 51 divided by 120, that is equivalent to 19.13. Then we have 75, this multiplied by this, that is left, multiply by 16 divided by 120, and we are getting a value of 10. Similarly, now this one is less, last value 45 into 16, 45 into 16 divided by 120, and we are getting a value of 6. Okay, the observed values are what? This one was 27. Okay, so keep a track of this. This is 26. Then we have 37. Then the fourth value is after 37 is 14. Then we have 11. And then we have 5. So since we are also squaring the values up, so it would be pretty easier. So after calculating it, after subtracting it and calculating it, our difference is square divided by E is coming 1.13, 1.89, 0.82, 1.37, 0.1 and 0.17, and this is 0.17. 0.17. Now summing these values, we are getting summation of this, and we are getting a value of 5.48. Now after getting this value, what we have to do? We have to compare it with the value of chi-square. Now degrees of freedom is number of columns minus 1 and number of rows minus 1 and multiplied with each other. So this is equivalent to 2, and the chi-square test with a degree of freedom of 2 at 0.05 and comma 2, it is equivalent to 5.99. Since our calculated value is within this value, that is the chi-square value, we reject the H naught. So we basically reject the alternative. We reject H1, the alternate, in favor of H naught. Or in simple words, we can say that we accept the null hypothesis. Okay, now what was the hypothesis? Right, this is a thing to note as well. The hypothesis, there were two things, right? The number of the choice of car is independent of gender. So if it is independent, then H1 was dependent on gender.